Hey travelers, well it is both Thirsty Thursday and Throwback Thursday, so we are going to go back in time to the fabulous Hyatt Ziva and Zilara resorts where we are going to be making the top 4 resort drinks that you can make at home. So first off, we're going to make a Kingston Negroni from the Hyatt Zilara Rose Hall. We are going to be making a michelada from basically any of the Hyatts in Mexico. We're going to be making a Bloody Caesar, and we are going to be making a candy apple shooter for those of you who like a little sweet indulgence. So let's check it out.
Okay, today we are going to make a slight variation on the traditional Negroni. I've had Negronis before, and we were visiting the Hyatt Ziva Zilara Rose Hall in Jamaica, and on their menu they had a Kingston Negroni. And obviously Jamaica being a home of rum, they substitute the gin for rum. So what we're going to put in today is some dark rum. We don't have any of the Appletons, so we're going to use the Fleur de Cana. We have some Campari. And we have some sweet vermouth. Pretty simple, but it's a really nice drink. We'll put some ice in. Normally I would use my hands, but you know, in these days of washing them all the time, I'll use a tongs. And really it's an ounce of each of these liquors. So, an ounce of rum, an ounce of Campari, which is quite bitter in fact. So it is an acquired taste. In goes that. And our brand new vermouth, sweet vermouth. We'll give that a little swirl. And we'll finish off with a hunk of orange, which you can either slice and place in the glass or even slice and place on the side of the glass. So that is the Kingston Negroni. Cheers. Yep, I can taste the Campari and the rum. The vermouth, I'm not really good at picking up the flavor of vermouth, but definitely the Campari and the rum I can taste. So there we go. Hi, so we're now going to try a shooter that we tried at Tres Cervezas craft brewery in Hyatt Ziva, or is it Zilara? I get them all mixed up, in Cancun. It's a candy apple shooter. We could put a shot of Tabasco in the bottom of the Tabasco glass, but that would change it. So first off we have the butter ripple schnapps, and then we have the sour puss apple. Quite easy to make. We're going to try and layer it. The butterscotch ripple is a lot heavier than the sour puss, so put that in first for the first layer. And we're going to eyeball it rather than doing some specifics. And if we get lucky, it should layer. I'm sure I like this. So there are a couple of things you can do. You can try the spoon either way. It's just basically trying to slow down the liquid hitting one another so that they don't blend. Oh, I can't see from here if it's working or not. And definitely didn't work. That's a complete fail on the layering.
Should we throw it out and try again?
No, I think that's it. I think the density of these two is very close. Yeah. So sorry about that, but this is quite an interesting shooter, which we'll leave for Christine to drink later. And that's it. We'll move on to the next drinks.
All right, so let's give this a taste. This is our candied apple shooter. I'm just going to sip this because we are doing 4 drinks today, and I have 2 recipes to do still. And it actually does surprisingly taste, more like a caramel apple that you would get at the fair, more so than a candied apple. But it's actually really nice. And fun fact for you, this is lovely poured over vanilla ice cream. So there you go. Okay, so we are in vacay mode. So we are going to go ahead back to the Hyatt Ziva Los Cabos, and we are going to make a michelada, which I really enjoy. We're also going to make a Bloody Caesar, but a michelada is a little bit lighter, and because you're using beer instead of vodka, it's a little bit less alcohol content. So it's a little bit better of, I guess, a day drink if you're looking for something like that. In Cabo, no, the michelada has a different name pretty much everywhere you go, I've found. So in Cabo, at the Hyatt Ziva Los Cabos, they call it a cielo rojo, which is a red eye. And in Puerto Vallarta, it's no, that one's red sky, and the other one is a red eye, and I can't remember how you say that in Spanish. Anyways, a little fun fact for you. Okay, so we're going to start out with a couple of ice cubes. Now this is up to personal taste. I'm just going to use my hands. I am not a fan of a huge amount of ice because it just gets in the way when you're trying to take a sip. So we've got a little bit of, as Guy Fieri would say, Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire, Leon Parents. Couple of drops. You know, again, it depends how spicy you want it. We actually have a little bit of Tabasco, again, a couple of drops of that, or a lot if you want it extra spicy. We are going to actually add a couple of drops of soy sauce. You can also use Maggi Seasoning, which is more, that's a bit much. No. Maggi Seasoning, which is a very similar but a Mexican, I believe it's a Mexican product, or Caribbean at least. A little bit of lime. And I should say also that normally the rim would be coated with either salt or tahini, but it is very salty. And another pro tip for you, when you're out in the sun, whether you're drinking margaritas or cheladas or micheladas, you should be cautious because the sun can interact with the salt, and you can get really chapped lips, and also you can actually get skin burns. But you didn't know that. But it can be very uncomfortable, so be cautious of that. And now we're supposed to be using a Modelo or a Tecate or a Dos Equis, which is my favorite. But we have a little product placement for you, Hyatt Zilara, and we actually have a Budweiser, but that's okay. I'm totally missing one of the ingredients. Okay, pause, boom, and we're back. Forgot one of the key ingredients, which is clamato juice. Now you can use tomato juice instead, but again, clamato, I just find it's a little bit lighter. It's just a lighter consistency than your typical, like a V8 or a tomato juice. So put a little bit of that. And it's actually, like I don't think this whole beer can is going to fit inside here. And of course, when you're pouring it, you want to pour it on an angle, otherwise you're going to foam it right over the top. Can we fit this whole can in? Yes, we can. Now this is my new favorite glass, that is for sure. So it's a nice combination, as you can see. Take a closer look at that. So it fizzes up quite nicely, so it's sort of a fizzy Caesar. And let's give it a taste. Cheers. Oh, that is good. You know, it's a lovely combination of the saltiness of the tomato juice or the clamato juice, as well as, you know, you're getting the bubbles from the beer. I should have mixed this up actually. Do that and just see if there's any change to the flavor. Try this again. An excuse to have another sip, huh? Actually, that does change it a little bit. So I think by stirring it, obviously I've brought the Worcestershire, the soy sauce, and the hot sauce into it. So it's lovely. Again, like I say, it's a lovely drink for poolside, something a little bit lighter, and the clamato juice, the tomato juice, just adds that savory aspect to it. Cheers, let's try the next one. Okay, so our last drink is the Bloody Caesar, and we are going to go back to, actually we're gonna go back to the Hyatt Zilara Cap Cana for this one, because I loved how they made them. I'm improvising a little bit with my little Caesar stick of goodness, but you know what the heck, you know, if you go into a restaurant in Vancouver or a bar and you order a Caesar, chances are really good that you're going to get either a mini cheeseburger, like a slider, definitely pepperoni, maybe bacon, a couple of French fries. They put it all on top of a Caesar, and it's a really nice accompaniment. It's certainly a bit more interesting than celery, wouldn't you say? Anyways, let's get going on this. So we are going to start with our Stoli vodka. Now this, like I said last time, this is gluten-free, and I actually made a mistake last time. I said this was from Dominican Republic. Got this one in Cabos for $12. It's about not quite half the price of a regular vodka, but I think it's because it's gluten-free. But it tastes just like regular vodka. And from, I don't know, maybe they're all gluten-free. But what the heck, we'll take the cost savings. So I'm gonna go for an ounce of that. And again, you know, you can put some ice in there. I've got clamato juice, and that was in the fridge, so I am going to skip that. Also, again, could have done a little bit of salt on the rim, but again, I just find it irritates my lips, so we'll skip it. So we start with the vodka. Again, we've got your Worcestershire sauce. Oops, a little bit of that. Oops, no soy sauce. Back to the Tabasco. Some interesting flavors of Tabasco sauce now. You can get the green one and quite a few different flavors. So, you know, experiment. Why not, right? In the Dominican, they use a little bit of Angostura bitters, which is actually sort of a, it's like an island spice. It's sort of, I smell allspice in there and cloves, and it's a little bit fruity. Just a little bit, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 drops. And then we're gonna add our fabulous clamato juice. Now, the difference between a Bloody Caesar, if you are watching this from the States, and you have no idea what I'm talking about, the only difference between this and a Bloody Mary is that this one is using clamato juice instead of tomato juice. Tomato juice, obviously, it is what it says. Clamato juice is a mixture of clam juice and tomato juice. So it's just got a slight, it doesn't even have a seafood taste, nor does it have a seafood smell, but like I said with the other drink, it actually lightens the juice a little bit. So it's sort of like a light Caesar, or light Bloody Mary. Mix that in. Now for a glass this size, because we were actually able to fit what was it, basically a 355 milliliter can of beer in here. Probably should have gone for a double ounce of vodka. We'll throw a couple of ice cubes in. And like I said, we're in this for the long haul today doing this video, so the double might not fare well for videoing tomorrow. I'm gonna add our fabulous little stick, which looks a little bit ridiculous, right? I mean, look at that. And what did they say? No straw, which is sorbete in the Dominican Republic, or popote in Mexico. So anyways, salute, cheers. We'll give this a try. If I don't poke my eye out like a Red Ryder BB gun. So that's lovely. All I can smell is the garlic stuffed olives and the pepperoni as I go to take a little bite of that. But hey, look, I've got basically a little charcuterie tray on a stick, and I've got a drink, and it's all good, and it's happy hour. So whether you make these drinks tonight or tomorrow or sometime next week, I hope you give them a try. And I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving us a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.